Starting over after 60. What no one tells you about a new marriage. Have you ever wondered if a new marriage after 60 can really bring you the happiness you imagine? What if there are emotional and financial consequences that no one is mentioning? What would happen if, instead of safety and companionship, you encountered unexpected complications? Whether you've been widowed, divorced, or single for years, finding new love in maturity can feel like a dream come true. A partner to share the golden years with, someone to travel, talk to, and enjoy the life you've built. But what many discover too late is that getting married after 60 brings unique challenges that they have never faced before. In recent research, it has been found that more than 65% of couples who come together at this stage of life face conflicts they never imagined. Decisions made based solely on emotion can lead to consequences that affect not only you, but your entire family for generations. In this text, I'm going to reveal 8 essential truths that you absolutely need to know before you walk down the aisle again. Stay until the end, because the knowledge I'm going to share can literally save your financial, emotional, and family future. Let's get started. Number 1. Revealed how the pursuit of happiness transforms after 60. What does it really mean to be happy at 60, 70, or 80? The answer may surprise you and completely transform your outlook on a new marriage. When we were young, marriage was about building a life together, raising children, and achieving shared goals. But now, the definition of happiness has changed in profound ways, and ignoring this transformation can be costly. Studies show that 75% of people who marry after 60 find that their expectations of happiness do not match reality. Many believe that finding a new partner will automatically fill all the emotional voids they feel. The truth is that happiness at this stage of life comes from different sources than those we knew before. For some, it's about companionship and sharing daily life with someone special who understands their stories. For others, it's about maintaining independence while having a partner for special moments and unforgettable trips. And for many, it's about preserving their current lifestyle without having to compromise routines and habits that have been established for decades. The secret that few discover is that your personal definition of happiness must be absolutely clear before you bring someone else into your life. Anna, a 69-year-old retired teacher, learned this lesson the hard way. After meeting Carlos on a cruise, she quickly fell in love with the idea of never feeling alone again. 6 months later, they were married and sharing the house where Anna had lived for 30 years. What Anna did not expect was the conflict between her need for morning solitude for reading and meditation, and Carlos's desire for constant company. A marriage that was supposed to bring comfort ended up creating daily tension that neither of them had anticipated. Before you take the next step in a new relationship, ask yourself honestly, what really makes me happy at this stage of life? Do you want a traditional wedding where you share everything, or do you prefer companionship with guaranteed personal space? Would you be happier living separately but maintaining a committed relationship with regular encounters? There is no right or wrong answer, only what feels right for you and your current emotional needs. The crucial issue is to ensure that any decision you make supports your long-term happiness rather than disrupting the peace and satisfaction you've already built. But how will you find out if your expectations of happiness are compatible with your new love? Read on to discover techniques that reveal the truth before it's too late. Number 2. Legal alert. What no one tells you about marriage in old age. Did you know that signing a marriage certificate after 60 can have more serious legal implications than when you were young? This is a truth that many disregard until they face consequences that could have been easily avoided. Marriage isn't just an emotional commitment. It's a legal contract with profound implications for your assets and future decisions. From prenuptial agreements to medical decision-making rights, there are critical legal issues that deserve your immediate attention. Ignoring these aspects because you consider them unromantic can create serious problems for you and your loved ones in the future. One of the first points to consider is how a new marriage will affect your current succession planning and will. When you marry, your spouse automatically gains certain legal rights to your assets, even if you intend to leave them to children or grandchildren. Without a clear plan in place, your inheritance can be divided in ways you never anticipated or wanted. This situation often creates painful family conflicts that could be completely avoided with proper planning. The legal protection you establish today is not a sign of distrust, but an act of responsible love for everyone involved. Another important legal factor involves making medical decisions in the event of unexpected illness or disability. In many jurisdictions, a spouse is automatically given priority over adult children or other family members for medical decisions on their behalf. This can create tension, especially if your new spouse and your children have different opinions about their preferred care or treatments. Establishing advance directives or a specific medical power of attorney can clarify your wishes and prevent potential conflicts before they arise. Prenuptial agreements are another tool that can provide clarity and protection for both partners involved in the relationship. While some people are hesitant to mention prenuptial agreements for fear of seeming unromantic, the reality is different. A well-structured agreement can prevent misunderstandings and ensure that both parties are starting the marriage with clear and transparent expectations. This document can outline how assets, debts, and financial liabilities will be managed, reducing the risk of future disputes between households. Margaret, at the age of 67, fell in love and was excited to remarry after years of widowhood. However, she had significant assets that she wanted to leave to her 3 children as promised to her late husband. After a frank conversation with her fiancé, they decided to draw up a prenuptial agreement that clearly defined her financial limits and expectations. This decision not only brought peace of mind to Margaret, but also reassured her children about the security of their family heritage. Legal matters are not always comfortable to discuss, but they are absolutely necessary for everyone's protection. Consulting with a lawyer who specializes in succession planning and family law before a new engagement is critical to your future. These early conversations can prevent confusion and stress later, allowing you to focus on what really matters, building a secure and happy relationship. And speaking of relationships, are you prepared to face the most surprising truth about health in your next marriage? Find out below. Number 3. The secret to maintaining a healthy body and mind. In a second marriage. Have you ever considered how a new marriage might profoundly impact your physical and mental health at age 60 or older? This crucial connection between relationships and well-being is often overlooked in conversations about late marriage. Recent studies reveal that people in harmonious relationships after 60 live an average of 7 years longer than those in conflictual unions. The quality of your relationship literally determines the quality of your health, something that acquires exponential importance as we age. A second marriage can have significant benefits for your health when built on solid foundations and realistic expectations. Romantic partners often encourage healthy habits, ensure medications are taken correctly, and notice subtle changes in health. Having someone who notices when you're unwell can literally save your life in cases of medical emergencies like strokes or heart attacks. Daily companionship also combats loneliness, which researchers now identify as unhealthy as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Science proves that positive relationships strengthen our immune system and can add quality and years to our existence. On the other hand, stressful or conflictual relationships can accelerate physical and cognitive decline in devastating ways. The chronic stress of an unhappy marriage raises cortisol levels, increasing risks of hypertension, heart disease, and depression. Compatibility in health matters becomes crucially important at this stage of life, something rarely considered by couples in love. How will you cope if your new partner develops significant care needs in the coming years? Do you share similar views on medical treatments, preventive approaches, and end-of-life decisions? Are your expectations about mutual care in the event of illness aligned, or may unexpected resentments arise? Before committing, consider having frank conversations about family medical histories and relevant hereditary conditions. Openly discuss how you plan to support each other on health issues while maintaining independence and dignity. Roberto, at the age of 74, met Lucia, 68, in a walking group for the elderly. Both valued physical activity, healthy eating, and preventative approaches to health, creating a strong foundation for their relationship. Before getting married, they honestly discussed existing medical conditions and how they would divide responsibilities if one became seriously ill. This transparency allowed them to enter the marriage with realistic expectations and concrete plans for their future together. Mental health also deserves special attention when considering a new marriage in maturity. Adapting to new routines, habits, and family dynamics can be challenging even for well-adjusted minds. Establishing clear expectations and open communication about emotional needs is critical to a successful transition. But how do you navigate the complex waters of emotional expectations in a mature relationship? The next section reveals everything. Number 4. Mature Heart, the New Rules of Love. You need to know, what does it really mean to love and be loved after 6 decades of experiences, losses, and personal growth? The rules of love change dramatically at this stage of life, and understanding this transformation is essential for any new relationship. When we were young, relationships often revolved around intense physical attraction and shared dreams for the future. Now, mature love embodies deeper layers of understanding, acceptance, and appreciation for the unique story that each one carries. Love after 60 is less about giddy passion and more about finding someone who truly understands who you've become. One of the biggest differences is the level of independence that each person brings to the relationship at this stage of life. By age 60 or so, you've already established routines, habits, and a way of living that works perfectly for you. A new marriage introduces someone else's habits, lifestyle preferences, and expectations into your carefully structured world. This adaptation is not always easy, even when there is a lot of love and the best intentions between the couple. The most successful relationships at this stage of life balance emotional closeness with absolute respect for each person's individual identity. Unlike younger couples who may be building financial security together, late marriages often involve 2 people who are already stable. This means that the reasons for coming together are different. Love, companionship, and shared experiences become more important than external achievements. However, it also means that both partners need to be clear about their expectations. How much time they want to spend together versus apart. How do you deal with disagreements when they arise? How do they maintain personal independence while nurturing the shared relationship on a daily basis? Another crucial factor is past emotional experiences that you both bring to the new relationship. If you've lost a spouse or gone through a difficult divorce, those memories and emotions don't just disappear when you remarry. You and your new partner bring decades of history, previous family connections, and deep-rooted perspectives on love and commitment. This is not a negative, but it does mean that being emotionally open, patient, and understanding is essential for a successful second marriage. How you communicate, express affection, or manage disagreements may have been shaped by past experiences that differ from your partner's. Learning to navigate these differences is key to building a harmonious relationship that honors the past while creating a new future together. Charles, at the age of 75, found love again after becoming a widow, but he did not expect how different this new relationship would be. His late wife had been his partner for 4 decades, and the way they functioned as a couple was deeply ingrained in him. His new wife, who had been divorced for many years, valued independence in ways he had never encountered before. It took time to find their own rhythm, balance closeness with personal space, and communicate without constant comparisons to the past. Before considering a new marriage, ask yourself honestly, what do I really want from this relationship at this stage of my life? Do I seek companionship without many changes in my daily routine, or do I want complete integration of our lives? Do I prefer to share a house, or keep separate living spaces with frequent visits between them? Am I emotionally prepared for the realities of combining 2 already established lives with distinct histories and preferences? Answering these questions can ensure that your next marriage is built on mutual understanding rather than unmet expectations. Now get ready for the most impactful truth of all: how your new marriage can completely transform your financial situation. Number 5. The financial shock that could destroy your retirement dream. Have you ever considered how a new marriage can completely transform your financial stability built over decades? This is possibly the most surprising truth that many discover too late, when remediation options are limited or non-existent. Many assume that remarrying is simply about love and companionship, especially at this stage of life. The reality is that marriage also represents a legal and financial commitment that can profoundly affect your retirement plans. If not careful, a remarriage can impact your retirement savings, social security benefits, pensions, and planned inheritances. The last thing you want is to go into a marriage believing it will make life easier, only to discover unexpected financial complications. An important consideration is how a remarriage affects government benefits you currently receive. Many people don't realize that if they receive benefits based on an ex-spouse's work history, those benefits can be reduced or eliminated. This situation can cause significant shock, especially if you rely on that income to maintain your current lifestyle. Fully understanding the financial implications before saying yes can be the difference between a peaceful retirement or constant stress. In addition to government benefits, there are issues related to retirement savings and succession planning. When you get married, your financial situation is no longer just about you. It involves someone else's assets, debt, and spending habits. Even though they maintain separate bank accounts, state laws can impact how assets are divided in the event of divorce or death. If you have children or grandchildren, you will also need to consider how a remarriage will affect the inheritance planned for them. Many assume they can simply leave their assets to their children as planned, but late marriages often alter legal rights. Ricardo, at the age of 72, remarried after becoming a widow, assuming that his 3 children would inherit his estate as he had always planned. After the marriage, he discovered that his new wife had legal rights to his assets, which meant that his children could receive less than expected. He had to navigate difficult conversations and legal changes to ensure that everyone he loved was financially protected in the future. If you're considering a new marriage, take the time to consult with a financial advisor or specialized estate planner. Make sure you fully understand how the union will affect your financial situation, your retirement, and any assets you plan to leave to loved ones. These conversations may not sound romantic, but they are absolutely essential to protecting your financial and family future responsibly. But even with your finances in order, would you be prepared for the family challenges that a new marriage brings? Keep on finding out. Number 6. Adult children and grandchildren. Navigating the family minefield. How will your adult children really feel when you announce a new marriage after so many years? This uncomfortable question reveals one of the most challenging truths about late marriages that few are prepared to face. When you remarry after 60, you're not just merging 2 lives. You're merging families, histories, and complex expectations. Unlike young couples building a life from scratch, mature people bring decades of established family dynamics. These relationships do not always merge harmoniously as many initially expect. One of the biggest challenges is how adult children react to a new marriage, even when they sincerely desire their happiness. They may struggle with feelings of loyalty to the deceased parent, or worry about how this new relationship will affect family traditions. Some will welcome their new partner with open arms, while others will feel resentment, suspicion, or concern for their emotional and financial well-being. These emotions are completely natural, but if not handled carefully, they can create lasting tensions that affect the whole family. Genuine family acceptance requires time, patience, and open communication, 3 elements that cannot be rushed for love or convenience. In addition to children, relationships with grandchildren can also change significantly with the introduction of a new spouse into the family. If you've been the main grandmother or grandfather figure in their lives, introducing a new partner can feel like a disruption to them. Some will embrace change with childlike enthusiasm, while others will need time to adjust to the new family dynamics. The same goes for your new spouse's family. Whether he or she has children or grandchildren, matching traditions and expectations will require flexibility from everyone. Another factor to consider is how a remarriage affects inheritance issues and family financial matters. It is not uncommon for adult children to worry that a new spouse may alter existing wills, modify financial plans, or receive part of the estate. While money may not be the focus of your new relationship, it frequently represents an underlying concern for family members. Some conflicts arise not out of greed, but because children want to ensure that their parents' legacy is honored as originally intended. Susanna, at the age of 68, remarried after being single for more than a decade, hoping that her children would be happy for her. Instead, she found herself navigating uncomfortable conversations about inheritance, family holiday traditions, and even where she would live. Although she knew her children loved her, she quickly realized that her new marriage required open discussions and reassurance to maintain family harmony. If you're considering a new marriage, take the time to talk to your family openly about your intentions and expectations. Be transparent about concerns, listen carefully to their concerns, and clearly establish what will change and what will remain the same after marriage. It may take time for everyone to adjust, but addressing these issues early can prevent future misunderstandings and resentments. The key is to approach these conversations with patience, honesty, and reassure you that your decision seeks companionship while valuing existing relationships. But how do you really know if they're compatible for the long term? The next section reveals the formula that few know. Number 7. The secret formula. To find out if your lifestyles are compatible, will you and your new love really be able to live harmoniously day after day, year after year, considering habits and preferences formed over 6 decades? This fundamental issue is often ignored in the excitement of a new relationship, but it absolutely determines your future happiness. By the age of 60 or older, you probably have well-established routines that bring comfort, security, and satisfaction to your day-to-day life. How you spend your mornings, the way you prefer to travel, even how you manage your social life. All of it has become an integral part of who you are. A new marriage introduces someone else's habits, preferences, and expectations into your carefully organized life. If your potential spouse has a drastically different way of living, it can create more friction than happiness in everyday life. Some people are more spontaneous, while others prefer structure and predictability in their daily and weekly routines. Some enjoy quiet evenings at home, while others thrive in social settings with friends, family, and new connections constantly. Lifestyle compatibility isn't about finding someone identical to you, but identifying differences that enrich rather than divide. Before committing to marriage, consider spending significant time by closely observing each other's daily patterns. How does your potential partner organize their time? Does this complement or contradict your own life structure and personal preferences? Do you share similar views on how and where you would like to live during the next few years of your lives? Are your ideas about travel, entertainment, family time, and discretionary spending fairly aligned or at opposite poles? How much time does each one need for solitary versus shared activities? Do you respect each other's needs in this crucial aspect? Openly discuss how you envision everyday life after marriage, from morning routines to holiday traditions. Fernando, at the age of 72, met someone wonderful and quickly remarried, believing that companionship would fill the void. As time passed, he realized that his new wife had very different expectations for daily life and social relationships. She wished to travel often while he preferred to stay close to home and family. She was extremely sociable while he valued tranquility. Although they cared deeply for each other, they struggled to find balance between their divergent lifestyle needs. Before you commit, ask yourself honestly, do our lifestyle differences enrich our relationship or create a constant need for compromise? Am I willing to adapt aspects of my established routine to accommodate my partner's needs? And is he willing to do the same? Can we find compromises that satisfy both in areas where our preferences diverge significantly? Answering these questions honestly before committing can avoid years of frustration trying to force compatibility where there is none. But even with compatible lifestyles, do you and your partner really know how to communicate effectively in times of conflict? Find out below. Number 8. Emotional mastery. The communication techniques that save mature relationships. After the age of 60, many believe that communicating in a new relationship would be easy. However, the reality is the opposite. Mature relationships require more refined communication skills than ever before. This is because both you and your new partner bring deep-rooted patterns of communication and conflict resolution, shaped by decades of life. Often in previous relationships, what worked before can now cause confusion or frustration. The key to a healthy relationship in maturity lies in recognizing these differences and building, together, a new relational language. Successful couples understand that they must be learners again, creating intentional communication practices such as daily conversations without distractions and candid exchanges about feelings, health, finances, and expectations. Expressing needs without accusations, actively listening, and using phrases like "I feel" instead of "you always" are transformative techniques. The example of Mariana and Paulo, who created an effective third language by respecting their distinct histories, illustrates this process. Before getting married, it is essential to observe how the couple handles difficult conversations. Communication compatibility can be decisive for the durability of the relationship. Investing in this learning avoids frustration and strengthens emotional intimacy. Your decision, your future. As we conclude our conversation, reflect for a moment on what we have discovered together about marriages after the age of 60. A new marriage at this stage of life can be a wonderful experience, but also a decision that carries important responsibilities. From financial considerations to family dynamics, emotional expectations, legal implications, and your own personal definition of happiness. All of these factors deserve careful consideration before making a commitment that will profoundly transform your life on many levels. The truth is that marriage at this stage is not about following ancient traditions, but about making a choice that truly serves your well-being. Some people find deep fulfillment in a new marriage, while others find that they are happier while maintaining their independence. Still, others explore alternative forms of companionship that offer emotional connection without the legal and financial commitments of marriage. The most important thing is that any path you choose is aligned with your values, your lifestyle, and your long-term well-being. The wisest decisions come when you have the courage to see the whole reality, not just what you want to see. If this text has brought important reflections to you, I recommend that you take time before making any definitive decision. Have the necessary conversations with your loved ones, seek financial and legal guidance, and above all, listen to your own needs. There is no hurry. This stage of life is about embracing what truly brings happiness, not what others expect or what society considers normal. Remember that every relationship is unique, and so is every life story that you and your potential partner bring to this union. The knowledge shared here is not meant to discourage new beginnings, but to ensure that any decision made is well informed. A mindful marriage, built on realistic expectations and open communication, can bring joy, security, and deep companionship. True love in maturity is not blind. It sees clearly and chooses to love, even though it knows all the challenges that may arise. I wish you to find the path that best serves your heart, your mind, and your future, whatever decision you make. Life provides us with second chances to love, but it's up to us to turn them into relationships that truly enrich our journey. Thank you for following this text to the end. May your choices bring peace, happiness, and security for the precious years ahead.